weekend. Dick Payne along with Curt Warner. We've been with you for our countdown to Santa Clara. And Curt, we are almost there, man. We are almost in game time. I'm in San Francisco. You're in San Jose, and it's been fun getting to this place. And now it's time to kick it off.
One thing I will point out, Dick, and that is you've got a lot of activity behind you. I can hear it and see it. But if I take you outside in San Jose, it's probably not going to be as busy as it is there in San Francisco. So we got two different scenarios here playing out, one in San Jose and the other one in San Francisco. And it's about an hour drive between the two. So it's an interesting concept as to how we're playing this Super Bowl in the different locations and where we are. But it's going to be one game. It's going to be played in Santa Clara, but it's just a different environment.
It is kind of unusual, and it was a little bit like this when the Seahawks won their last Super Bowl in New York, as the teams were in New Jersey. Most of the media was in New York, so the media right now primarily has been in San Francisco. I'll show you. That's the media center right there that I've been doing all my shows for KJR all week long. And then we're right across the street from the NFL Experience, which is right over here, and you see the line. I'll show you the line. It goes all the way down the street to get into this NFL Experience. So it is very, very busy here in San Francisco, much quieter over in San Jose, but then everybody's going to move over on Super Bowl Sunday. They're going to take BARTs. They're going to take taxis. They're going to take Ubers. They're going to take these Waymos. We don't have these Waymos yet in Seattle. Have you seen these cars driving around with no drivers in them? I'm like, I don't know if I want to get into one of those, man.
I agree with you 100%. I think I'm going to hold off on that one.
Well, Curt, let's just talk about your thoughts on this one. Final chance to give your thoughts on the game, your prediction on the game. What do you think is going to happen between the Seahawks and the Patriots?
I think the Seahawks are going to win. I think they're going to win defensively. Offensively, there could be a match there, but I give the edge to the special teams and just the way that they have been playing all year long. I mean, they're ready to go. They just can't listen to the noise. They got to stay focused on what they do, and I think it'll be okay.
I really feel like for the Patriots to win, everything has to go right for them. They have to play a low-scoring game. They have to be able to stop the run. They have to make sure that there's no big Rashid Shaheed punt returns or kick returns. The field position game is going to be very important. And all those things can happen. This isn't a 7-game series. If this was a 7-game series, I'd be picking Seattle 4-1, 4-2. I certainly would not have it going to 7 games. But as you know, Curt, this isn't a 7-game series. This is a single 1-game Super Bowl. And I know you've been part of teams before that were favored probably by more than 4.5 points, and it didn't happen. So I'll give my final score prediction in a second, but I want to get your take on, like, when you're the favorite, is that a little bit of a burden on your shoulders to get as fired up as the team that has been told all week long by everybody in the media that they're going to lose? Seattle's better. So how does that fuel New England when they've been told by everybody, Curt, that they're not the better team and they are not going to win this?
Well said, and it has been playing out from the time the two teams were determined and decided upon. The Seahawks have been favorable in this particular arena. And what you can't get caught up into is being the favorite. Now, here's the other thing, too. There's one other thing. This is payback. This is payback from a few years ago, 10 years ago, down in Arizona.
That's right.
So if nothing else, you gotta, whether you were with the Seahawks or not, that's something you gotta go, okay, this is not gonna happen again. Yeah, they potentially have the wherewithal to win because, like you said, it's not a 7-game series. This is a 1-game series. This is not one of those things where it is predetermined. I know people like to think that the NFL is predetermined with regards to who's going to win, who's going to lose, but no, that's not the case. I don't ever remember going out and playing in a football game thinking that, man, they're the favorites, they're supposed to win, so we got to figure out a way to let them win. No, that's not going to happen. This is a football game. This is mano a mano. These are guys playing against each other. It has taken them this long to get to this point, and on Sunday, we're going to find out who the champion is. Should be a great game.
It should be. I'm going to speak a little selfishly here because I want my mini Super Bowl slump to end. You see, I've been at Super Bowl week every time the Seahawks have been there, but I've only been to 2 of the 3 games. The 2 games that I was at was Detroit, lost to the Steelers, and Arizona, lost to the Patriots. The one I decided to fly home for was the one we actually won. So I'm going to get a little greedy here, Curt. I want this little mini slump to end.
Okay.
I want to see a Super Bowl championship for my childhood team way back when I was watching number 28 run for 1,449 yards in 1983. I've loved the Seahawks ever since.
Well, thank you.
And the Seahawks are going to win this one 23-17. And if all goes right for Seattle, which I don't think it will, we talked about the Patriots need everything to go right to win. If all goes right for Seattle, I think it's a blowout. I think it's a 17, 20, 21-point win. I don't think everything's going to all go right for Seattle, but I'm going to take 23-17. Yeah, we're sweating a little bit in the fourth quarter. We're going to need a score in the fourth quarter. We're going to need a big key stop in the last 2 or 3 minutes of the game. But I think the Seahawks and that dark side defense get it done. But Curt, it's been awesome going through the 12 days of Santa Clara with you, man. It's been absolutely fantastic. But we're not done yet because we're going to throw it now to our conversation with a kid that had the most incredible day in Washington State football history for a running back. 6 touchdowns. Sumner's own Lance McGee, the running back. And let's send it there to our conversation.
Welcome back to FinalScore.tv, our countdown to Santa Clara. Dick Fain from 93.3 KJR FM. And I am flanked by 2 pretty dang good running backs, let me tell you. We got an old school running back and we got a new school running back. Kurt Warner, the Seahawk legend, and Lance McGee, who I was thrilled and privileged enough to do the play-by-play for that game between Sumner and Lake Stevens. And I tell you what, that was the most impressive individual performance I have ever seen in a game that I have called. And I've been doing these things since the 1990s. And Lance McGee joining us from Sumner. And Lance, congratulations on such a fantastic year and winning the state championship.
Thank you so much. Honored to be on this show. I'm very excited.
Okay, let's just talk about that night because it was funny, Kurt. We had a little bit of a glitch in our automatic statistics machine, right? Okay. And so Lance had an unbelievable game, obviously, but the numbers were off on my sheet. I was like, is this right? Does he really have 250 yards at halftime? Does he really have 370 yards at the end of the third? I mean, I think at one time I said you had 400 yards rushing because our stat machine was kind of off. But regardless of what the accurate number was, and I think they got him officially with 300. What do you have? 354 yards and 6 touchdowns, yes, Kurt, sir, for the football game. WIAA state championship record. But Lance, just talk about why it worked so well, that game for you against a really good Lake Stevens defense.
Yeah, I'll start. First of all, big shout out to my line, my coaches, my teammates. Like, none of this would have been possible without them. Everybody bought in when we needed them to. We lost to Puyallup and Lake Stevens early in the season. A lot of people counted us out. But after the Puyallup loss, we all bought in. Our practice, everything changed about what we did. And it showed at the end of the season, and we got it done.
What changed? Because I've talked to your head coach about about the fact that you had to. He said you guys had a come to Jesus moment in the middle of that season or the beginning of that season when you had those 2 losses. So what exactly changed in as far as the atmosphere?
One big thing was like every day in practice we hit. Like at the beginning of the season we were not hitting every day in practice, and then after that loss with Puyallup, our coach said everything has to change. So just from full padded practices to longer practices, just the detail that we had, like just everything. Kids showing up early, coaches showing up early, just everything that you can imagine just changed, and it went up from there.
Kurt, you hit every day in practice, didn't you, man? You hit every day in high school practice, didn't you?
Pretty much. Yeah, at high school. No, it was worse. It was worse at college because Paterno. That's kind of how we practice. But my question to you, Lance, is 300 plus yards, right? I mean, what was the mindset? What, were you in the zone or not in the zone? I mean, talk to me about that. Tell me what happened.
Nah, I was in the zone for sure. Like I was a little tired here and there, but when I got confidence and I know my line has confidence, like I know we're all gonna be good. Every time, like I tell everybody every time before a play, like I tell my line, like I need y'all, and they say they got me, and then every time we're off to the races.
Curt, what type of advice would you have for Lance going into Washington State now? You know, you were him. You know, you were him 45 years ago, the best running back in the state, going to Penn State, and talk about what type of advice would you have for Lance as he goes into this new world in the Pac-12 with Washington State?
Well, let me give you a story, okay? This is a Penn State story. I don't think I've told very many people about this. So I'm at Penn State. We're in in the meeting room, and you can see the billboard, or just a little board that he had marked down with the guys, and like Booker Moore, and then Matt Suey, and then Mike Gooman, and some of the other guys, Joe Cole. They were, and I was a freshman, and then I saw my name at the very end, down at the bottom, and I was like, so that's where we're starting, down at the bottom. And sometimes you've got to start there. Your name is on the list. You're on the list. That's a good thing. Don't get discouraged about where you are on the list, because there's going to come a point in time when you're going to get out on the practice field and you'll be able to showcase where you were. So I went from the bottom of the list to up in that middle part of the list to the upper part of the list, and that means you're going to get to play a little bit more. But don't get discouraged. That would be the thing that I would tell you. Do not get discouraged. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep practicing hard. Stay focused on what you have to do, because there are going to come days. Some days are going to be better than other days, but you've got to continue to move forward. Kind of like what you guys have done this year. You started 100%. A little slow. You made some adjustments, and then you get things going in the right direction, and you win a state championship. I mean, that's something you're going to be able to talk about 20 years from now, 30 years from now, and you can exaggerate the stories all you want. Instead of having 300 plus yards,
yeah, he'll have 600 yards by the time he's 50 years old, you know.
You embellish. This is the key. That's the other thing I want to remind you. You got to embellish it. Instead of having 6 touchdowns. Oh, I had 12 touchdowns that day. You know, just embellish it a little bit. Dick, you know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely. Yeah, Lance, but before we got on the air, Curt told me he had over 400 yards rushing in a game. And I'm thinking, okay, now I'm doing the math here. He probably had more like 250 back then, but now it's 400.
It could have gone up from 250 to 450. What do I know? I don't remember all the things I used to remember back then. But no, congratulations. What a great game. You seem like a great kid, and I want to wish you the best. Really.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
So, Lance, talk about your college choices, because at the time we didn't know exactly what you were doing when we were when you were in the regular season. You kind of a late. It looked like you were going to be a Beaver, and then now you decided to be a Cougar.
They have a great program. There's a lot of things happening around Wazoo, so like I feel like I'm gonna have a great career there.
No, you'll like it there, man. I'll tell you what. I grew up as a Husky, so I'm kind of I'm supposed to not like Washington State, but I'll tell you what. I married a Cougar.
Yes, sir.
And she's got a lot of friends that are Cougars, and my nephew is at Wazoo right now, and I have not met one person that has ever gone to Washington State that said they did not love their experience.
Yes, sir.
So you're gonna have, and I got a son that's that's a recruitable athlete, and so I'm gonna it's gonna be on the list. Yes, I'll tell you that. Whether I'm a Husky or not, it's gonna be on the list. So oh man, well hey, before we let you go, let's talk about this Seahawk team, Lance. I mean, these guys are balling out. Let's talk about the running back position. What are you seeing from Ken Walker? And obviously Ken has kind of it almost seems like he's changed his game a little bit in the last month or so, where it's just been like one cut downhill,
he's crazy,
carrying dudes. Yep. Where in the middle of the season maybe it was kind of the more dancing. I gotta wait. I gotta see if I can juke a guy. But maybe talk about what you've seen from Ken.
Yeah. During the season, like I watched a lot of his film and stuff. Like I would see the way he makes cuts and stuff like that. Watch his game and then put it into my game for sure. Like he's a wonderful player. It's insane how powerful he is. Just everything he's done for the Seahawks. Like, man, there's just so much to say about him, and just all the Seahawks, like Charbonnet, all of them.
Yeah,
they're just amazing.
How confident are you, man? How confident you are in this them getting a dub here?
They're gonna get it done. That's all I gotta say. They're gonna get it done. I know they are. Yep, they're gonna get it done. No
Good
question
call.
about
Very
it.
good call.
Yes, sir.
Just like you did. Well, Lance, congratulations on a great season. I know the recruiting process can be bumpy sometimes, but you have landed in a great spot, and we can't wait to watch you. And now, now the Huskies and Cougars aren't in the same conference anymore,
Yes,
so
sir.
I can root for you guys all the time. So except the Apple Cup, I'm
Yeah.
going to be rooting for you every game, all right?
My dad's looking forward to that game too, because he was a Husky, so he was telling me about that. Yeah, he was like, I'm looking forward to that game.
Man, he's still going to be rooting for you, though, right?
Yeah, he said he gonna put on that crimson for me.
There we go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Shag, is that your dad,
That's my
Shag
pops.
Williams?
Yes, sir.
I remember Shag Williams back in the '80s, man. Absolutely. I went to some games back then and watched him play. Absolutely. Well, we know where your athleticism comes from, then, right?
Yes, sir. For sure.
Hey, appreciate it, man. Best of luck to you, and we'll be watching you on the TV. All right.
Yes, sir. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
That's Lance McGee, great running back from Sumner, headed to Wazoo. Every day during the countdown, the FinalScore.tv will give away a Curt Warner autographed player card. On the final day, the day of the big game, one lucky person will win a Curt Warner autographed football. For your chance to win, simply click on the 12's entry form located on the remote control on the FinalScore.tv. All brought to you by the FinalScore.tv, your home for complete high school basketball playoff coverage all the way to the state tournament. Visit the FinalScore.tv every day to find schedules and locations of all games throughout the state. For Curt Warner, for Lance McGee, Dick Fain saying